Hey guys, as a Christian, it's important that you get your returns when you are investing, but it's also important for you to do it ethically. I want to show you in this video 5 Christian ETFs that don't invest in anything that are contradictory to our beliefs and scripture. And to give you an example right off the bat, Inspire Insights breaks down every single stock and ETF and what they're currently investing in. So to give you an example, if let's assume we want to take a look at Apple, and it says here, for instance, that it is a negative 86 impact. So this goes up to 100%, and then negative when it's against our beliefs. So you got pornography, for instance, that Apple distributes pornographic content across pretty much everything, right? So the movies, TV shows that show nudity, etc. But then you also got things like LGBT philanthropy, where they're donating money to causes that go against our belief system. And then you got abortion, same thing, where they're promoting offers payment for employees of travel costs to obtain abortion in states where it's still legal. This is an amazing tool and resource, and you can take a look at all of your investments, your ETFs, and see kind of, as a Christian, where are you putting your money? All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk about what an ETF is, why this all even matters, where your money is going, and I'm going to talk about the 5 best Christian ETFs that you can get into today that not only serve a financial purpose, but as well as our faith. I'm a licensed certified educator by FINRA. I am an investor, and I am just a guy who's looking to always share knowledge of what I am learning and currently doing. One of the things that I'd like you to consider is liking and subscribing to this channel. I'm trying to grow it and get it to a point where it's a lot more like my Instagram channel. So if you would, these videos take me a long time, not only to do the research, to write, to edit, and obviously publish. They literally take me weeks. So I would greatly appreciate your consideration, and I hope you enjoy this video. So if you are new to investing, you obviously understand that as a Christian, we are called to be good steward of what the Lord has put in our hands. Part of being a good steward is not just caring about the financial returns, but also where the money is going, what's it being used for, and what kingdom is it progressing. A few years ago, there was a term that was coined called biblically responsible investing. It takes on a couple names, but let me tell you about what that is first. So why does investing ethically even matter? Investing ethically, sometimes also called as biblically responsible investing or socially responsible investing, seeks to promote good moral and ethical practices in corporate world. This can include avoiding companies that are involved in activities that conflict with Christian values, such as abortion, pornography, LGBT, among other things. On the flip side, biblically responsible investing involves investing in companies that actively promote Christian values such as family, marriage, giving back to the communities, engaging in sustainable environmental practices. BRI is often based on the belief that Christians have the responsibility to be good stewards of the resources that God has given them. And this obviously includes financial resources. As a result, BRI investors seek to use the investments that they have and make to support companies that align with their Christian beliefs and values, while also seeking to avoid the ones that do not. So if you are a seasoned investor, feel free to skip this portion. I put timelines below. If you are not, let me explain to you what an ETF is. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, and it's a type of fund that is traded on pretty much every stock exchange. All it really is a basket of securities, and it can include different things like stocks, bonds, commodities, and pretty much anything that's traded in the stock market. When you buy one ETF, let's assume you want to buy a technology sector ETF, then that technology sector ETF can include a ton of different stocks, but a small portion of each one of those. So let me give you an example. So if you were to buy one share, it would cost you $404. And inside of that share, the $404, 6%, 6.666, oh, that's ironic, would be going to Apple. 2.48 would be going to Amazon, 1.6, and so on and so forth. So instead of you spending $400 buying just one share of Apple or multiple shares of Apple, you are actually getting exposure to the entire technology, or the entire S&P 500 in this case. So all of those 500 companies, you're buying a little portion of all of them. And what this really does is it mitigates a lot of the risk. So if one of the companies in your portfolio crashes and you only own 3 of them, well, you just lost 33% of your investment. If you hold a couple of ETFs and a company crashes inside of those ETFs, you're barely going to feel anything because there's so many companies in there. Christian ETFs are something that is fairly new. but it has been gaining a ton of traction. There are a lot of companies that are choosing to create a lot of these ETFs, and they're really good. The name for these are right on the nose. A couple years back, I attended a Kingdom Advisors conference. It's this beautiful conference where a ton of financial advisors get together and discuss finances and what they can do to use the money, the resources that God has given them for the glory of God. I had the opportunity to meet at the conference Robert Netzley, who is actually the author of Biblically Responsible Investing. This is one of my favorite books and resources. I keep coming back to this because it's phenomenal on explaining to Christians why we should actually focus on being a good steward, why our investments matter, and as a Christian, how we can impact the world through our investments. I want to give away 5 copies of this book, and all you really have to do is like this video, drop a comment below, and I'm going to select winners before I shoot my next video. All right, so Christian ETFs came about a little while ago, and they are the perfect way where we can mitigate risk and also, as a Christian, invest in things we actually care about. And surprisingly, these Christian ETFs have a pretty good record. I want to go over 5 of them with you in this video, and if you have any questions about any of them, feel free to drop a comment below, DM me on Instagram, where I'm actually a little more active than I am here on YouTube, and I look forward to answering your questions. All right, so Robert's group is called Inspire, the name of his fund, and he actually has several ETFs on the stock market. He's got Bible, Bless, I think this is short for Fidelity or Fidelis, Glory. The names are, right on the nose, but they do the job, right? So I just want to talk about 2 of them. One of them is Bible. Bible is a large cap, and you can literally read the description here. All right, so for BIBL or Bible, you can see the holdings that they actually have, and there are a lot of companies in here. There's 100 companies that they're actually holding. What you need to know about BIBL is that over the past 10 years, it's averaged 16% returns, which is a lot better than the performing S&P 500. On top of that, it does pay a dividend, and the ratio is 0.63. And if you were to have invested $1,000 10 years ago in BIBL, you would have today $5,148.23. By the way, you can get all of this information on my website at vianaj7.com, and it'll be one of the latest articles that I published. All right, so second up, we have Bless. And if you're not familiar with this platform, this is the research side of M1 Finance, which is by far my favorite stock/financial investing tool. This is not sponsored. I just love all of their products, their services. They're absolutely amazing. So you can see we can look at a 5-year chart here for Bless, the current price. You can see that they actually have a very good dividend yield, and the dividend will pay for the expense ratio. If you were to have invested $1,000 into Bless 10 years ago, that money today would be $3,210.91, averaging roughly 10% return over those past 10 years. All right, so up next we have ARK. ARK is by far one of my favorite products. It's managed by a phenomenal woman named Kathy Wood, who actually just wrote a book called Faith Driven Investor with Tim Keller, one of my favorite pastors. And I went out, read this book probably the same week that I got it. If you haven't, check that book out. I mean, by all means, Faith Driven Investors. They're doing a phenomenal movement on Christians and how they should be managing their money. Kathy has come up with some very innovative ETFs. There are several, as you can see here. There's a fintech one, genomic revolution one, and then there's innovation ETF. All right, so the ARK ETF is currently selling for right under $40. And if you were to have invested $1,000 into ARK 10 years ago, you would have upwards of $13,000, because this is returning over 36% on average. It's about to plateau at some point, but it's very innovative, and it's an amazing company, an ETF to be investing in. And the last one is by Timothy Plan. The stock ticker is TPCL. You can't find this everywhere, so there are only a couple of brokerage that actually has this, but the return on it has been pretty good, close to 14% over the last 10 years. And if you had invested $1,000 into this, you'd have $4,575.66. The Timothy Plan is a phenomenal website if you are a Christian looking for resources on how to invest better. They have a lot of resources for accredited investors and non-accredited/retail investors. So check out their website, again, timothyplan.com. And these are the 5 best stocks for you to invest in as a Christian. There are a lot more, guys. So if you go online, do your research, DM me. There are literally like probably close to 100 of these companies. And within these ETFs, there are individual stocks that you can invest in. And again, you can still get a pretty good return and at the same time have a clear conscience on where your money is going and how you're serving the Lord as a good steward. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I am looking to grow this as much as I'm growing on Instagram, and I obviously need your help and your support. If there's anything you want me to talk about or cover, feel free to mention it below too. I'm always looking at the comments and I check my DMs frequently, and I'd love to connect with you if you have any specific questions about your finances. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day, and God bless you.